This is Dr. Sridhar, working as professor in Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad. Today, I am going to talk about the AC fundamentals. So, before starting into the AC fundamentals, we should know about electrical war. That is the war between two well-known famous scientists, that is between Nikola Tesla and Thomas Alva Edison. So Edison invented DC supply and Tesla invented AC supply. So there was a war in around 1880s, not a physical war, but it is just like a war between DC supply and AC supply. So in the late 1880s, Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla were invented, and this leads to a battle is known as war of currents. That is war of currents because Edison has invented DC current and Nikola Tesla has invented AC current. So the problem came into picture. So which supply is to be adapted to drive our electrical appliances? So this was known as a war among the currents. So Edison developed DC current. And what do you mean by DC supply? DC supply is nothing but it is a current. DC current is a current that runs continuously in a single direction. So it will not change if the time progresses. So only from t is equal 0 to infinity. So always that current is in only unit direction. So that unidirectional currents are called as the DC currents. During the early years of electricity, DC was a standard one. So all electrical appliances were driven with DC supplies only in the early years of electricity. So DC is not easily converted to a higher or lower voltages. Suppose if the power supply is 230 volts is there in our home appliance. If we want to decrease the voltage level or if we want to increase the voltage level, this is a little bit tough or difficult with DC supply. So in order to overcome this difficulty, AC came into picture. That AC was invented by Tesla. He believes that AC can be converted to different voltage levels relatively at lower difficulty level. So with the help of transformer. Transformer is a device which can increase the voltage level or decrease the voltage level based on our requirements. So the transformer works with AC supply. So the difficulty with the DC is nothing but changing the voltage level is relatively tough or a little bit difficult with the DC supply. That can be overcome with AC supply with the help of transformer. So compared to DC, AC is very useful for our day-to-day lives or for industrial applications also. AC supply is more predominantly employed to change the voltage levels or to drive various electrical appliances at different voltage levels. So this type of arguments, this type of not exactly arguments, this type of fundamental philosophies leads to a war kind of thing. So that is known as war of the currents. That is between two scientists proposed two different electricities, DC and AC. DC is a unidirectional one, but AC is nothing but it is a alternating in the nature. Alternating in the nature means from a certain period of time it will have positive direction, and for some more time it may have negative direction. So as time progresses, you can observe some positive pulse and some negative pulse. So this is the nature of alternating in the nature. So because of this is called as a alternating quantity. Anyhow, we are going to discuss the fundamentals required and what are the fundamentals of alternating quantities. Everything we are going to discuss in today's video session. So with this simple analogy, we can say that in a conductor, you can see two different types of conductors. So if the conductor carries the current in only one direction, so that is called as a DC, unidirectional one. If in a conductor, if the current is having both directions from left to right and right to left in this slide, so that is in the alternating in the nature. So that is called as a AC supply. AC supply is alternating current supply. So AC and DC. So with this simple PPT, we can elaborate what exactly the difference between DC supply and AC supply. So I have given two waveforms also for the DC and AC. So DC is clearly unidirectional from t is equal to 0 to infinity. And what are the equipments, what exactly the devices or electrical appliances utilizes this DC supply? Now computers and mobiles and our TV sets, etc. These are the things that will utilize DC supply to run itself. And coming to the AC supply, AC is nothing but in the waveform also, it was clearly shown. This is the one. Here it is alternating quantity, varies from 0 to infinity if you could see. Now so many times that waveform is positive and so many times the waveform becomes negative. So between certain intervals, suppose if you are taking 0 to 1 second, let us assume this is nothing but the 2 seconds. Now 0 to 1 second, the voltage is nothing but the positive or the current is positive. So this is the positive peak, and from 1 to 2 seconds, the current is nothing but it is taking negative profile. So this is nothing but the negative crest or a negative supply. So like this is continuously varies from 0 to infinity. Now if this is happens in any conductor, so this is called as a alternating current or alternating in the nature. So in the transmission system, suppose if you want to transmit the electrical supply over hundreds of kilometers from generating station to the utility, generating station to the load centers, you have to transmit the power. So this is the transmission of the power is I am representing with the towers which allows the current, or this supports the electrical conductors to transmit the power from generating station to the load centers. Now where this the transmission of the power is very easy if that is in the alternating in the nature. And similarly our day-to-day home appliances also. So this is nothing but the power socket. So these are the things mainly uses the alternating supply. So this is the brief description about what exactly DC supply means, what exactly AC supply means, and what leads to the DC and AC, and what about the introduction to this DC and AC. So again, this direct current, suppose if a load is connected here with respect to the DC source, the example of the DC source is nothing but you can take as a battery or cell. Now these are the sources, these electrical sources will supply a DC supply. This DC supply is nothing but it will have only unidirectional quantity, either it may be a voltage or current. Suppose if the DC source is connected, or let us assume this is the battery, so it will drive a voltage. Now this is the voltage source, it will have some voltage. This voltage, if it is connected to some external load, now you can see some current. That current is nothing but it will have only unidirectional current, either from positive to negative or negative to positive, whatever it may be. But through this battery, if you could see from positive to negative, you can observe. But ultimately what we can conclude with this simple electrical circuit is the current is nothing but it is a unidirectional one which flows from positive to negative or negative to positive if the DC source is connected. Now if you are taking the alternating current source, now this is the simply we might heard about the generators. Now this generator is nothing but it is a electrical source which supplies the alternating current source. This is nothing but the voltage. This is the voltage, but it is alternating in the nature. So this is the batteries and cells are nothing but this is the DC sources, and these are nothing but the AC sources. So this AC source is nothing but the best example is nothing but our AC generator or alternators. These alternators will supply some, or it will inject some amount of voltage, so it drives some current. Now if one external load is connected, this load if it is connected to the source, now you can see the current in both the directions. One current is flowing into the source and one current is nothing but towards the load. So very quickly it will change its direction. So that type of sources are called as a alternating current sources. And in the waveforms also clearly it was depicted. This is the DC voltage source. Now this is the 0 and this is nothing but the time t. If you are traveling from 0 to infinity time, irrespective of time, it will maintain only unidirectional voltage source. So this is nothing but always it will have a constant magnitude. Suppose if it is 100 volts, throughout the period from 0 to infinity, it will maintain same 100 volts. So irrespective of time, now if the voltage remains constant, if the voltage is only unidirectional, that type of voltage sources, the sources which were produced, those are nothing but the DC voltage sources. Next, coming back to the alternating source. Now if you are traveling from 0 to infinity, now for some period, suppose let us assume this is up to 1 second and this is nothing but the 2 seconds, this is suppose 3 seconds, this is a 4 seconds, and let us assume this is 5 and this is 6, so and so. Now from 0 to 1, now you can see that, and this voltage source is nothing but it is traveling in the negative direction with respect to the 0 reference axis or 0 voltage axis. This axis is nothing but, this is the time axis, is nothing but the 0 volt axis. So with respect to this 0 volt axis, now between 0 to 1, if you could see, this voltage is traveling in the negative direction or reverse direction. This voltage source is having some negative profile from 0 to 1, and some 1 to 2 seconds. So 1 to 2 seconds with respect to this 0 volt axis, now it is positive in the nature. Similarly from 2 to 3 seconds, now this is nothing but the negative, and then positive, then negative, so and so. So like this, if the voltage is alternatingly, if the voltage is continuously changing its direction, and such type of voltage sources are called as AC voltage sources, because AC is nothing but the alternating current. So very quickly, rapidly, if the direction is changing alternatingly, if it happens, this is nothing but the AC voltage sources. So these are the just brief introduction to and comparison between AC voltage sources and DC voltage sources. Now coming back to our how many types of sources are there? Generally, DC voltage sources are represented with some positive and negative terminal across the voltage source. Suppose if something is represented like this, if it is positive and negative, now inside this, if there is a V is there, then this voltage source is called as a DC voltage source. Coming to the AC, how it will be represented. So inside this small circle, if some tidal or some sinusoidal pulse, if it is represented like this, then this is nothing but the AC voltage source. This is the schematic representation of the DC source and the AC source. And here in the ACs are also, there are two types of sources will be there. One is a single phase AC and next one is nothing but the three phase AC. So up to now this is enough. Now what is electrical supplies? Electrical supplies have been divided into two. One is the DC source and then next one is AC source. Again AC was divided into single phase and this is three phase. So in today's video session, we are going to discuss about this alternating current, AC's fundamental requirement. Now what are the basic components required for better understanding of this alternating quantities? So once again, let us conclude our previous discussion with this simple slide. AC circuit is nothing but the path for the flow of alternating current is called an AC circuit. So if the alternating current, if it is existing in any simple circuit, that is nothing but the AC circuit. The alternating current is used for domestic and industrial applications. So just now also we have discussed about this. The value of the magnitude and direction of the current and voltage is not constant. It changes at a regular interval of time. Now it travels as a sinusoidal wave completing one cycle as half positive and half negative cycle and is a function of time t. So sometimes instead of time, people will also represent. So suppose if this is nothing but the alternating in the nature, so it is represented with the sinusoidal quantity. Either this may be voltage or current, and this is nothing but it is represented with theta, or sometimes this is also it can also be represented with the time t. So this theta is nothing but this is called as a angular displacement. Suppose if the system is rotating in the nature, if it is not a linear system, then in such cases the x-axis parameter is represented with theta, and if it is a translational system, linear in the nature, so if it is having a displacement from left to right or right to left or up to down, down to up, such type of systems are nothing but translational system. In such cases, the x-axis is represented with the time t. Now this angular displacement, it comes into picture if the system is rotational. If the rotational is nothing but if any system is rotating on itself, such systems are nothing but rotational systems. If the system is rotational, if you want to analyze that rotational system and how much of voltage or current induced or we are giving to that system, in such cases, the waveform is represented with the sinusoidal, and the x-axis parameter is nothing but the angular displacement. With respect to the reference axis, how many angular degrees it was revolved. So that's why in x-axis, based on our requirement, based on our analysis purpose, sometimes people will represent time as a reference parameter. Sometimes people will represent angular displacement as a reference parameter. So this is about this point. And in DC circuit, normally you might have heard about frequency. Now frequency of DC system is nothing but it is 0, because frequency can be defined only if any system is having positive and negative pulses or on and off system. Then frequency for AC system is not 0. Now from the fundamentals, or you can refer our previous videos for better understanding of this frequency. Now frequency of DC system is 0. So frequency of AC system is not 0. It is finite. Now in US kind of countries, this is nothing but 60 Hz, or in the Indian electrical scenario, this is 50 Hz electrical frequency. So this is about the frequency. Now coming to our passive elements, we have discussed about the passive elements, that is nothing but the resistance, inductor and the capacitor. Resistance will not do anything with the frequency, but coming to this inductor is nothing but, this is the reactance of this inductor is nothing but, the reactance of this inductor is omega into L. The reactance of the capacitor XC is nothing but 1 by omega C. So reactance is nothing but, this is one kind of resistance but created with the inductor or capacitor to the flow of current in any electrical circuit. This more or similar to the resistance only, but it was not simply opposes. It stores the electrical energy in different magnitudes or in the magnetic field across the inductor and across the capacitor. Now this electrical energy will be stored in the form of electrostatic field. So because of that, I am going to differentiate the resistance separately, reactance separately. Resistance is nothing but it simply allows through it, and it will dissipate the electrical energy into the surroundings in the form of temperature. Now this is simply dissipating the electrical energy, but in the inductor and the capacitor, now energy will be stored. So same resistance property only, but it is doing something different. So that's why this is called as a reactance of the capacitor and reactance of the inductor. Where omega is nothing but, this is called as a angular frequency. So this is angular frequency, and the formula for this is nothing but the 2 pi f. So reactance of this inductor is nothing but XL is equal to omega into L. So where omega is nothing but the 2 pi f into L. So if the frequency is 0, it means for DC supply, the reactance suffered by the inductor and the reactance suffered by the capacitor is zeros. So only if the supply is AC supply, it means it will have some frequency value, that is either 50 Hz or 60 Hz based on the country or based on the electrical scenario. I mean to say, this frequency of the AC system is not 0. It is a definable value. It is finite in the magnitude. If this is finite in the magnitude, then the reactance of the inductor and the reactance of the capacitor, it won't be 0. It will have some opposition. So it will have some quantity. So in addition to the resistance, inductance and the capacitors are also offer some opposition, that is nothing but it is called as the impedance for the AC system. So because the reason is very simple, only the reason is nothing but this angular frequency is nothing but it is a function of frequency. The current and voltages are represented by magnitude and direction, in which direction it is moving, how frequently it is changing its direction. So the sinusoidal alternating quantities are voltage and current, which varies according to the sine of angle theta. Because just now also we have seen that the voltage alternating current is nothing but it is alternating at regular intervals. From 0 to 1, if you could see, if it is negative, from 1 to 2 it is positive, and so and so. So it is the image, the particular waveform is just resembles like our AC sinusoidal quantity. So that's why all the alternating quantities are represented with the sinusoidal function only. So that's why Now with respect to what? How it is varying? Means it will vary with respect to the time t or with respect to the angular displacement theta. The alternating quantity may or may not be in phase with each other depending upon the various parameters of the circuits like resistance, inductance and the capacitance. Now you may get a basic doubt why the alternating current is in the sinusoidal form. Why it is selected like this? What is the reason behind this? Because the sinusoidal voltage and current produce low iron and copper losses in the transformer. So losses is generally in all the electrical appliances you may take transformer, because transformers will be there in how many numbers? Means now if you are taking a typical electrical power system, almost of all more than 95% of electrical appliances are electrical transformers only. So if the transformer is efficient enough, then we can change the voltage at higher efficiency. So because in view of that, now how can you how can you improve the efficiency of any electrical device? Means by keeping the losses at lower value. And if the voltage applied to the transformer is sinusoidal, then the losses is relatively less. So losses will be reduced, especially constant losses. Those are the iron and copper losses. Iron is a constant loss, copper loss is a variable loss. These losses are relatively you can keep at lower level. And if you are maintaining sinusoidal quantity, now you can also improve the efficiency of AC machines and it will interfere. Suppose if you are taking a typical electrical transmission system, and in the majority of the cases, especially in our Indian scenario, the same overhead transmission conductors are also utilized to transmit the communication signal also. And they are going to keep wave trappers at the entry and exit of any substation. So that wave trap is nothing but based on the frequency, it will separate the signals. Now what is the signal of communication system is having, and what is the frequency of our electrical system? So electrical system frequency is 50 Hz at more or less some acceptable deviation, and this communication system will have higher frequencies. So based on this simple logic, they are going to differentiate which signal is our electrical signal and which signal is our communication signal. So based on the frequency, they are going to use one wave trap device at the entry and exit of substation. With the help of that, they are going to separate. So what I want to communicate you is the same overhead conductors in the majority of the cases, especially in our Indian scenario, they are going to utilize for transmitting our communication systems also. So if it means only single conductor, it will carry electrical signal as well as communication signal. So we may get what about the communication interference. So if any conductor carries two different types of signals, then there may be an interference. So that interference is also minimized if our electrical signal, if it is maintained in the sinusoidal form. So it will also create some less disturbance in the electrical circuits. So in view of these basic advantages, generally people will generate the electrical energy and they are going to take the sinusoidal as the reference voltage. Now what are the associated terms of alternating voltage and alternating current? So we have discussed many times in today's session only what is the alternating voltage. The voltage that changes its polarity and magnitude at regular interval of time is called alternating voltage. In the same manner, alternating current is nothing but it is the direction of the current is changed and the magnitude of current changes with time is called the alternating current. Waveform. Knowingly or unknowingly, many times we used to say waveform. So what exactly the definition of this waveform is nothing but the shape obtained by plotting the instantaneous value of alternating quantity such as voltage or current along with respect to time t or angular displacement theta on the x-axis is called as a waveform. So alternating quantity, either it may be a voltage or current, this would be taken on the y-axis, and on the x-axis time or angular displacement will be taken. And if you could plot the relation between voltage, alternating quantity and the time, then the resultant will become a waveform. So the maximum value of the voltage and current is represented with E suffix small m or capital V suffix small m and capital I suffix small m respectively. Suppose if the waveform is like this, now it will have a peak value. That peak value is nothing but either Vm or Em if it is a voltage, or if it is a current, then this is also represented as a I suffix m. And on the x-axis, now this would be time t. So on the y-axis, this may be voltage or current I. So this is about the, so here Em or Vm or Im is nothing but these are the peak values, and sometimes this is also called as a crest values. So maximum values in that particular waveform. So next, one more important term is what is cycle. When one set of positive and negative values completes by an alternating quantity, or it goes through 360 degrees electrical, now it is said to have one complete cycle. If any alternating quantity in this waveform only, you can see now it is going to complete now positive cycle. Now let it be 0 to 180 degrees. Then this is nothing but the 360 degrees. From 0 to 180, it is positive. From 180 to 360 degrees, it is negative. So from 0 to 360 degrees, if you could see, now it is going to complete. It means this alternating quantity is going to complete one positive alteration and negative alteration. So this is nothing but this is called as a one cycle. So how many electrical degrees? 360 degrees electrical degrees. So here one thing we have to remember, that now 0 to 180 degrees is nothing but the positive, 180 to 360 degrees is nothing but the negative. Here the duration for positive pulse and the duration for negative pulse must and should be same. And what is alteration? One half cycle is nothing but it is termed as a alteration. So the span of alteration is nothing but just now also we have discussed 180 degrees. So this is the positive alteration. Positive alteration will have 180 degrees. Negative alteration also it will have 180 degrees. So one positive and one negative combinedly it makes a cycle. So the resultant is nothing but it is 360 degrees. So in our previous definitions also we have used instantaneous. What do you mean by that instantaneous value? Instantaneous value is nothing but the value of either voltage or current if it is continuously varies with respect to the time. So that value of that alternating voltage or alternating current, it is not constant. Now if the time varies, at 0 it may be 1 unit, at t is equal to 1 second it might be 2 units, like that. So if time progresses, then if the magnitude of that alternating quantity also varies, such type of values are called as instantaneous values. So the value of the voltage or current at any instant of time is called as instantaneous value. It is denoted with lowercase I for current, lowercase v for voltage. So next definition is what is amplitude and what is the peak value. Now the maximum positive or negative value attained by an alternating quantity in one complete cycle is called as amplitude or peak value, or in some of the cases this is also called as a maximum value of that waveform. Next one is frequency. The number of cycles made per second by an alternating quantity is called as a frequency. It is measured as in hertz by the name of a scientist who has invented this, and it is denoted with some lowercase f. What is the time period? The time taken in seconds by a voltage or a current to complete one cycle is called as a time period. It is denoted with uppercase t. Now peak to peak value, okay, the peak to peak value of a sine wave is the value from the positive or negative peak. Okay, thank you for watching this video. Thank you very much.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.